Hello and welcome to Beyond Conversations, the podcast where we explore the world of technology and innovation. I'm your host, and joining us today is Nupur Kulkarni, an Associate QA Analyst at PTC and an active member of IEEE. In this episode, we'll dive into Nupur's journey in the field of technology and quality assurance and how her involvement in IEEE has shaped her insights and experiences. Get ready for an engaging conversation as we dive into Nupur's professional growth and the valuable lessons she has learned along the way.
Hello, Nupur. I'm myself Soham. So let's get started with the questions first. So, how did you get involved in the technology field of technology, and how did you join the clubs, IEEE and other clubs?
So basically for me, when I started with my engineering, when we start with engineering, we are mostly like, let me get into academics, let me focus on my academics first and then get to some point, and then we start focusing on extracurriculars and co-curriculars, all of that. So when I was in my engineering in my second year, I joined IEEE. And before that, I definitely went on to explore it first, figure things out, like how is it, what does IEEE have in store for me basically. Initially, I just participated in one competition, and then I understood that, okay, it is something other than what I've experienced, at other places, like be it a workshop, be it other competitions. But IEEE was more about having an aim of, advancing technology for humanity, which IEEE's tagline also talks about that. So what my motto was to, explore something different. And my aim also was to, share knowledge. And IEEE moved to be a wonderful platform for that. And apart from that, my interest in technology was also somewhere satisfied because of IEEE, a platform like IEEE where, it's a great platform to exchange ideas, I would say, because when you are in college, you're confined to that one place. But when you get outside, when you hear from people, like this podcast is one beautiful, example of what we are able to do because of IEEE, right? At that point of time, when I joined IEEE, we were in lockdown. It was COVID time. And, you must also be knowing that it was a very tough time for all of us. Like we were very we had a lot of free time and we didn't know what to do with it. So basically, when I was in my second year and we had lockdown and our exams got cancelled because we are affiliated, our college, like basically where I did my bachelor's, Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, it is affiliated to Savitribai Phule University, SPP. And our exams got cancelled, so we didn't know what to do with that time. And at that point of time, I just, I sort of, it was the perfect time for me to get into IEEE Pune section, where, I got an opportunity to be a part of design team. And it was just a head start for me. I didn't know what to do, but I learned a lot of skills, and I, went on to explore a lot of things coming here, while also being a participant in a lot of, activities, workshops,
Events.
Yeah, a lot of events in general. So I feel that it was a beautiful period for me because I got to learn a lot of things. I still am learning with respect to technology. The kind of, we always think of research papers when we talk about IEEE, right? Everybody who knows IEEE basically comes to me and tells me, hey, that was about, IEEE is all about research papers. But then I correct them that, it is not just about research papers, but it is much more than that. It is a place where you can, find everything under one roof. You can actually grow technically as well as, you can hone your managerial skills. There's so much more. And it's a technical professional organization. Again, coming back to your question that, my interest in technology has only grown after I have come in IEEE, because it's a beautiful blend of students, industry people, and academicians, right? Where would you find that kind of a blend, and technical communities like IEEE, ACM. I would I wouldn't just want to mention IEEE, but also certain other technical communities as well, which have similar aim, as IEEE. So I would say that these are platforms where you can not just grow technically, but you have so much more than that, So with focus on technical or technology.
So when did you exactly join the IEEE club?
It was in my second year, basically, after I participated in a flagship event of IEEE section called Eureka. which focuses on the spreading awareness about technology among school students.
And after you joined IEEE, what were the rules that you played in the IEEE club? Yeah. You were the club member for like 4 years, I guess.
Yeah, I still am. But coming back to your question, basically I was just a member, and I didn't know anything rather about what IEEE does, and apart from one thing that I was a part of called Eureka, as I. But apart from that, I had no idea what exactly goes on in IEEE. Nothing. But there were section student interviews. Like there were recruitments for IEEE section in various domains, various teams like design team, event management team, and all of that. And we had no idea basically about that. And our teachers, like our counselors at that point of time, our guides, had motivated us to just be a part of that interview. It was just kind of to have that experience. How does it feel to have an interview with industry people and for a professional organization. So we just went and gave it a shot. We never thought that we would get selected or something like that. And surprisingly, we got selected, and it was like a surprise for all of us. Like not just me, but several other people, several other friends of mine got selected in different teams, and it was a big exposure at that time, right? Like when you think as a college student, you dream of becoming a president of your student association, right? But then when opportunities like this comes up, and about which you have no idea, right? When things like this pops up, and feel like very surprised, like how did this happen? Similar was the case with me, and then it has been a journey of it's been a wonderful ride till now, because I have been a part of numerous teams within IEEE at different levels, be it college level, section level, Pune section level, India Council, and even a global level at this point. So it has been only growth till now.
You joined multiple teams in IEEE, helped with IEEE events and organizing various events. So how did that experience help you in the field of technology, and what you're doing currently as a job?
Yeah, so currently I'm working as an Associate QA Analyst at PTC. So obviously it does help a lot, I would say, because when you are in IEEE, especially when you are volunteering in IEEE, right? There are people who have taken IEEE membership, but they feel like, what to do, what should I do with it? Because, you have invested that amount in the membership, but then you have no idea what to do with it. So when you have that question, so I will just, in simple terms, I would just say that, go ahead, take a membership, try it for yourself, and you will yourself feel the benefit, So, it was the same case with me. So when I joined IEEE, when I started volunteering, I was kind of, low on confidence. I had, self-doubts. I didn't know about much more. Like, I didn't know about myself, honestly. Like, what kind of skills do I have, or what kind of things am I good at? So I believe that when you are given an opportunity, when you put yourself in such kind of experiences that IEEE provides, you come to know much more about yourself. It's been a journey of self-discovery for me so far, where I could, understand that, hey, I can do this. I didn't know that I could do this. But since I have been put into the situation, I feel like, okay, I'm not bad at this. I can pretty much do this thing. In my job, it has helped me a lot with respect to the kind of sessions that I have attended, with respect to the kind of, corporate culture is pretty much different than college culture. And you would, I don't know if you have witnessed that, but I would say that it's pretty much different. And there are deadlines, there are a lot of different kind of things that you have to deal with. Your communication skills matter a lot, because, you might be in a remote team, you might be working with people from, across the globe. So you never know what kind of situation may arise there, and so...
So it also gave you a networking opportunity with various things.
Yeah, it gave me a networking opportunity, and at the same time, it honed my communication skills. Like, we all kind of have this, we always go for trainings. I should go for this training, I should go for I should hone my communication skills. So we all have these kind of things, like we do these trainings and all. So I never needed this kind of training, right? Because I was in IEEE and on a regular basis, I was doing these things. So it was never like I have to put a conscious effort and do something, right? That way it went on like it was a very smooth ride for me. The transition has been very smooth from college to job, of course. And yeah, working within deadlines. Like I remember one instance where I was leading the Pune section back 2021. I was the section student representative back then. And at that point of time, I was supposed to present an action plan to the executive committee of Pune section, which consisted of several eminent members, at very great, amazing positions in their respective industries. And I was supposed to present the action plan to them, like what all I want to do with this action, what are the activities I want to conduct over the span of 1 year. And when I presented it to them, they were mostly like, you should have measurable goals. I was very random with my goals. We want to do this and we would do this and we want to increase our social media reach. But by increasing your social media reach, what do you actually mean? They asked me this question. And then I came to know that, hey, you need to have measurable goals. You need to have some deadlines for your goals, right? That can actually help you in the long run. Right. So this is the similar kind of thing that you face in your job. You have deadlines, you have to have measurable goals. When somebody asks you when, you should know what to answer and whatnot. So basically it's also about communication skills and so many other things that comes with networking with these kind of eminent people around you.
You led the IEEE student section.
Yeah.
And what exactly did you handle?
As SSR, basically the section, let's just say it's the student team lead. So that would be a yeah, you can say like,
so it also gave you a leadership opportunity.
Yes.
Like, you learned how to lead people and get work done and execute events. And all. So, but talking about how it helped you as your job, like your associate QA analyst.
Yeah.
So how it helped you there, like quality assurance in quality assurance field, exactly.
The thing is that in job, it's very different. Like there are different domains and, everything is pretty much different. Like you have different fields and then you have to have that kind of interest in different fields. But coming back to IEEE, look, it has been like, there have been so many different talks or workshops or events, all of that. It has never been about only about that particular field. So it has been about the broader to say it like it has been more generic. So it has been about topics like there have been topics like blockchain that I have attended sessions on, about AI, healthcare. So there are pretty much a lot of things actually. But to summarize, as I said, as I already answered your previous question, how did it actually help me in the job? It has just given me that kind of confidence and that self-belief, as I said, like because of leading in the student team of Pune section, it kind of gave me that edge over others. And then I felt like, okay, now I am confident and I am good. I'm able to convey what I feel. So that really is a skill, when it comes to job. You may have a lot of knowledge, you may have a lot of technical competency, but when it comes to conveying what you know, right, it's a tricky part. And most of the people, most of the students, they struggle with it, right? It's the reality, because they have a lot to say, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't know how to, put it there. Be it in the interviews, be it in the meetings, by documenting it. IEEE has taught me to write wonderful reports, so that has also helped me a lot in my job. I feel like there are so many aspects to what I have done in IEEE, be it anchoring, taking initiatives for different things, different events, and thinking creatively. Honestly speaking, this beyond conversations this concept has stemmed up during my tenure as a student team lead of IEEE Pune section back in 2021, when one of my team members, he was a website team member back then, and he came up to me and he just expressed his thought on having a podcast, because back then in lockdown it was very monotonous, attending sessions. It was kind of boring. And
Yeah.
yeah, so during that time, then he came up with an idea that youth might like it. If you have this kind of podcast, especially for the issues that the youth is facing or things that the youth might want to know, that would be something unique, that the highlight of IEEE section. So that time we went on to take the idea forward, and now it's here, and I could see how it has literally progressed a lot over the span of 2 to 3 years. So I can definitely see it, and so things like that. You get an initiative, you become creative, you start thinking about. That is where the startup ideas come from. The entrepreneurship ideas come from.
Yeah.
So you will always find these people, like whoever are entrepreneurs or are leading somewhere. Their interests have been somewhere in the in college days. They must have led something. They must have led some kind of group or a kind of community, and then they had their own ideas, and then they like bringing up their own things. So that also has helped me a lot in my job, honestly speaking, and coming up with new things always, and being on the top of everything at all times, because you have that experience of managing a team, or also being a team member, right? Being when you get into a job, you are not you are a team member as well. You have to be a team player. So that has also basically, it has also come from my experience in IEEE, that I am able to thrive in a team well at my job. So it's not something new for me. It's like a repetition of what I already did. So it's like a different experience for me, just in the same way, like whichever team you work with, honestly. Yeah.
So like it gives similar environment of your job, office job type of IEEE club section.
I won't say similar. Like it definitely is,
like, but in more casual or funny way, like
yeah,
friendly
you
way.
can say
Yeah.
that, because at IEEE you are you are kind of casual also at some point of time, where you chit chat with your other team members as well. Similar thing happens at job, but it's like more business oriented approach. You cannot be like, here they are volunteering, nobody's paying us anything. So yeah, that way it is pretty much different.
And like sticking with your job, like what can you explain what exactly quality assurance is? Like,
Okay.
if people are curious about
Okay, so I think that let me just put it into very simple terms, like simplest of terms. If a child comes to me with a sketch, for example, and I see that sketch, and I'm like, the first reaction from me would be like, wow, what a sketch, it's beautiful. If a 3-year-old child comes to me, I'll definitely give that reaction, right? And anyone, right? That it's beautiful, I really appreciate you, that would be the reaction. But when you step into a quality assurance QA's shoes, basically, it would be like, okay, but it's not proportional. It's not, the ratio is not good here. It could have been, you could have used a different lead pencil here. It's basically, I won't say it is criticizing. It's basically having an objective approach towards things. It's about taking things to perfection. It's about, again, coming back to the technical terms of it, about enhancing the user's experience, to think from the point of view of user. While they get the product, it should be like fully, the experience should be good, honestly. It should be, what do we say? It, all the scenarios that the user, how the user will be using it, should be, tested perfectly. And you should assure that the product is perfect to use now, right? With everything tested. And it might also be like, there are some things which are not really evident, not really seen. It is not seen to the eye directly, but you have to have that kind of imaginative and creative approach, where you think from all angles, and then take then test it from all angles. And that is what quality assurance is in very simple terms. Yeah.
So you mostly deal with software products, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of software products exactly?
So I am at PTC in the IoT domain, and we have different IoT products where we have a lot of automation frameworks. We have all sorts of things like be it manual testing, automation testing, all of that. And it is kind of very good because the tech stack is so wonderful. You get to learn the upcoming technologies in that, and you get to learn. You get to actually implement that. You get to build frameworks. You get to test some great products that are currently in trend. So it's actually fun. It's basically my work revolves around the IoT products majorly in PTs. Yeah.
How did you go through IEEE and then join the quality assurance of PTC?
Like as I said, we were in lockdown, and that time I was exploring different technologies, and one of them was Python programming language, which I had started learning and I had cultivated an interest in back then. And I went through a lot of Python applications, and one of them was Selenium using Python. Now, for the people who don't know what Selenium is, it is basically a tool to automate web applications, and it is very, very much used in automation testing, Selenium, Playwright, etc. So I went through it, and I never had this knowledge that, okay, it is used in industry in this particular thing. And I was not aware of that, but I also had a fascination. I had an interest towards it, and I played with it. I just explored more and more, and eventually I thought that it's a very nice thing. It's a cool thing to do, to automate things. Yeah. So after that, like after 1 year or so, when I was in my final year, I fortunately, I don't know what to say, but I fortunately got this job role where I was playing with the same tech stack, right, which I had. Yeah. So I had this thing like, okay, it is used in industry at such a huge level, and I was not aware of it. I just had explored it for fun, and now I'm actually working on that tech stack. So I was actually working with Selenium in my initial months of my internship at PTC. So it has been like, I don't know why it happened, but then I could see myself growing with that particular tech stack that I actually enjoyed as a student.
Most of our audience is college students.
Yeah.
So if you want to give them advice, like how they should join the clubs and how they should work their way through their clubs and any other professional association, can you give some advice to them?
For me, it has been like, I have friends with a lot of different interests. Like I don't have a lot of friends who are very much into IEEE. Like so it's not like it's more of what you want to be. If you have friends and you feel like let's do something together, and if everybody's interest is the same, then great. But if it's not, then you can just think that I really want to pursue this thing, I really want to do this thing, I think that it fits me, I should go for it. I should not look for any validation, or I shouldn't look here and there, and I should and then decide that what exactly I want to do based on somebody else's influence. I think you shouldn't be like that. You should rather go ahead and pursue what you feel like doing, while also maintaining, accepting what your friends are like. So you don't have to be in a conflicting situation. But I just feel like you should be focused on your journey, right? What suits you the best, what feels the best for you. You should think of it, and then you should go ahead with it. So IEEE is a platform where you can invest in yourself. And investing in yourself right now is the, it's very important to invest in yourself right now, because this is the age of learning. Every day the technology is changing. Every day it's something new comes in trend, and then things are changing so fast. So you have to be on your toes, and you have to give you have to think how you can stand out, because everybody is a lot of people are doing the same thing. So then how can you do maybe the same thing with a flavor of something else also added? If you are a mathematician and you are good at poetry, then what can you do combining the both. That's what I feel. So I feel like you should combine things that can't be combined really, or people think that
Like combine your interests with what you want
yeah,
to achieve.
exactly. You can, like, I am interested in technology and I am interested in social work, and I then found IEEE and I combine it's a combination of both. So I joined it, and I can, continue to pursue my interests here. Every day is a new learning opportunity. So find that one particular thing for yourself and just go with it, go with the flow. And eventually it will be frightening at first, like it was for me. IEEE was a very frightening thing for me at first because I didn't know what to do. I was completely clueless. But eventually, when I got into it and then I went with the flow and I didn't question myself, right? Like, what am I doing? Or, is it right or wrong? I eventually realized that, okay, it is my passion and I find joy, as we call in IEEE. We volunteering IEEE for, the joy of it, right? So it has always been that way. And apart from what you do in your job, you should have something apart from that. Like, I feel like you should have something apart from that you go to relax, to connect back with yourself. And that's what IEEE is all about for me. And a lot of the volunteers that I have worked with, honestly, they are so busy with all their hectic schedules, with their work, everything. But when they come to IEEE, they are energized. They are, they get that energy and then they return back to what they do. So that's a kind of passion and love for IEEE that we have. Yeah.
So, like, while you were in IEEE, what you certainly faced some challenges and like some problems. So, how did you solve them, and what as an experience or a lesson did you gain from those challenges?
Okay. So let me share one experience of mine. When I had just joined IEEE, I was given an assignment of designing a newsletter, a 30 to 40 page newsletter, where I was supposed to put in all the events happened in last 3 or 4 months or something like that. So I was supposed to do that, and would you believe it? I didn't know anything about designing. I just thought maybe they would ask me to design some random posters, and I had applied for that. But then I got assigned this task, and I was like, how am I going to do it? At the end of the day, when I work day and night, and I expect like, okay, I can design newsletter, whatever it is. Like, it had flaws, it's fine, but it was my first time and I could do it. And it took a lot of patience for me, right, to do it and continuing to improve, right? That scope of improvement was a lot that time. So it was a lot of patience. It took a lot of patience from me. And I am a very impulsive person, to be honest. And I want things to be done, to be figured out very fast, and you should be on your toes and things like that. But that experience taught me that you need to be patient and you need to just keep working, and then things will fall in place eventually. So you don't have to be very anxious, stressed about things. You just have to do your thing, right? So and eventually skills will be there. If once you have that willingness to learn, I think things will fall in place. So one thing that I learned from my IEEE experience so far, and it was pretty challenging for me, was patience. And the other thing that I learned was multitasking. It makes you IEEE volunteering teaches you a lot of multitasking. You will hardly find an IEEE volunteer who is not a multitasker. So it is pretty difficult. It was pretty difficult for me. It was, but then I learned a lesson that you need to do one thing at a time. You cannot go into all things at once and all of that stuff. So it taught me that, and it also taught me conflict management to a great extent, because while you are leading a team of 30 to 40 people, you might imagine what kind of conflicts might happen while working together. So there have been a lot, and I learned to be calm in those situations. You have to be really calm. You need to think like a leader, and you need to keep your team intact at that point. You don't have to take anybody's side. So that's also something that I learned.
Are there any other sources other than IEEE or like from IEEE that you recommend to students, like if they want to gain knowledge about new technology and other resources?
Yeah, surely. I'm pretty much active on LinkedIn because of this reason itself, that LinkedIn gives you so much more to learn about different technologies. Wonderful newsletters and some great content creators out there who want to actually spread awareness about that particular technology, be it AI, machine learning, data science, be it about productivity, performance, high performance, what are the skills for high performance. So randomly, these kind of things are there on LinkedIn, and I definitely read a lot of LinkedIn newsletters because I feel that they are very precise. They are short, they are not very long, and it doesn't get boring. They are just 2 minute, 3 minute read, and I feel like it's very on to the point, I would say. It's very precise, and it tells you what all is happening in the field of technology. For example, ChatGPT. What are the things that are happening in ChatGPT? Which are the fields that it is impacting, and whatnot. It's truly very interesting, and they make it really short. There are some very nice, interesting things to learn from. So LinkedIn newsletters, I would definitely suggest. If you are an IEEE member, then please go ahead and read IEEE Potentials magazine, because it is one of the, I would say, I definitely go through IEEE Potentials magazine. It has so much about upcoming technologies and trend, and people talking about that, their experiences, all of that. So it's wonderful. If you are an IEEE member, go ahead, whoever is watching. And apart from that, I feel that you should, if you want to be technically relevant, you need to have discussions with people around you. You need to have people who have this technical mindset. So for me, it has been always like, I have discussed things, I have discussed about technologies with my colleagues, with my friends. And whenever I have, we discuss about applications of different technologies, we discuss about pros and cons, and how is it going to impact the humans in future, everything like that. So that is how you create an environment where technology is being discussed. And that is how that kind of gets, becomes your second nature, right? Where you are also thinking in that way, right? So being a part of a community where technology is talked about a lot, it definitely makes you technically relevant as a byproduct. And you don't have to do a lot. You just have to have conversations. You just have to have the ability to listen to others. You just have to have the ability to have the willingness to ask questions. That's very important, to ask questions about technology. That is one thing. And I would also like to state one instance where I had just texted one of my friends who is also in IT, by the way. I was reading about self-driving cars, basically. And I texted him that, what are pros and cons, and, where can it be better, and, all of that as compared to our normal cars. And he is very knowledgeable. He knows machine learning, deep learning, all that kind of things. And he follows these people who are really into technology, who are the CEOs, or, something like that. So I just texted him, and we had a very fruitful conversation on what can be the future of self-driving cars. And at the end, he just sent me a podcast on self-driving cars. It was a podcast, and Elon Musk was talking about it, and I went through it. And this is a cycle. It never ends. It's like a chain, I would say, rather than a cycle. It's just a chain where you get one thing from the other, and then you pick it up, and then you again take it, and then you go through it. Then you get something else, and then you again continue doing the same. So it might be a book, and then you come to know about a podcast. You get that podcast, you watch it, and then you tell your friend about that, and then he might tell you something very interesting, and that's the chain. So you just have to go with the flow, I would say, to be technically relevant.
Just feed your curiosity. Just discover new things, find information, pick up information.
Exactly, that's what.
Your way through IEEE, and now you're a quality assurance analyst. Like in this personal growth of yours, what are the main highlights and milestones that you achieved? Can you share those?
Okay, so I would say that IEEE, when I had participated in Eureka competition, I had one of my seniors, and we completed that competition. We had a good time together working on that competition. After that, after a few months, he comes up to me and he tells me that he asked me if I would want to be a part of Smart India Hackathon. You might have heard about Smart India Hackathon. It's such a prestigious hackathon in India, and where the students try to solve pressing problems proposed by different industries, right? So he came up to me, right? We came together because of IEEE, and then he comes up to me after a few months and he asks me if I would be interested to join him in his team to participate in Smart India Hackathon. And the thing was that I really felt that I'm so fortunate. Like through IEEE, I'm getting this opportunity in technology, to participate in such a prestigious hackathon. And you won't believe, but we ended up winning the hackathon. We developed a captcha authentication system for visually impaired people. Again, that had a social, we wanted to do some social well. Yeah. So that was there, and we ended up winning an amount of 1 lakh rupees for what we had developed. And it was a problem statement proposed by DRDO. So we were evaluated and mentored by the best people, in DRDO. And that turned out to be such a wonderful experience. And I think I was the only one girl in the whole team of 6 people, 6 students. And I was just in my second year, and at second year level to get this kind of exposures, this kind of opportunity, I think it really feels surreal to me, right? Like, because it doesn't come that easily to anyone, and IEEE has been one of the reasons why it happened, and that helped me actually to go ahead and write a research paper and then again publish it in IEEE. So it is in IEEE Explore. So it has been definitely a highlight of my journey in college, and how IEEE fostered my growth in that way. And apart from that, I would say that I got to volunteer at one of the NGOs in one of the very famous NGOs. I would like to mention that even AB de Villiers is volunteering currently at that NGO. It's called Make a Difference, and I volunteered. Yeah. So I volunteered in this NGO again during my COVID time because I had a lot of free time and then I didn't know what to do. So I volunteered there. I helped children academically, and then I continued working there for 2 years. And again, I brought a lot of my IEEE friends into that. So a lot of IEEE friends telling me that, hey, you had told us about Make a Difference, MAD, and then we actually got to contribute a lot socially and help the children academically and in whatever capacities. So I think that was another highlight, how IEEE has been connected here as well. Like through my network. First, I came in, I formed a network, and then I inclined them towards, social cause to make a difference. Yeah, so I think that it has been a lot of impact. Like I was able to create some kind of impact, at least, to add some kind of help, social help, I would say. So that was definitely one of the highlights of that. And another thing is that I really felt very blessed when I was honored with the Shri Prahlad P Chabbria Award for Best Outgoing Student Female Award. It is again sponsored. It's basically again organized by IEEE India Council, IEEE Section, IEEE Women in Engineering, which is an affinity group in IEEE. So it's and again Hope Foundation and Research Center. So this particular award focuses on research and about science and technology and how women can actually go ahead and progress in the field of research and science and technology, academics, extracurriculars, social work, research, everything like that, right? So that all of the things that IEEE had given me, helped me get into all these opportunities. And at the end of the day, again, it came back to me with the help of this award. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, it was again one of the major highlights of my journey. In my job, definitely, I have been trying to make a mark. I'm just learning right now, because since I completed my bachelor's in
Okay.
2022, I've just started with my
New to your
corporate.
job. Just started.
Yeah. Like it has been almost 2 years now with PPC, but it has been like a fresher experience where I am just getting to know different things. And but I feel like from whatever I'm doing, I think I am being able to add value, and I think the focus should be on adding value rather than achievement, or rather than thinking about I want to get here, or I want to achieve this particular milestone or something like that. I think if you are able to add value, you have already achieved what you set out for. So yeah.
Like, according to you, what are the like skills and other essential abilities like required by students if they want to do well in technology industry? Like, you're talking about how people should put value in what they do and other stuff. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay. So what I feel is that in industry, you are trained basically for some particular tech stack. You might have some knowledge of it, and then you are trained in on whatever product the industry works on, whatever it is. So I think that industry doesn't really need a lot of skills, but it does need your willingness to learn. That enthusiasm from you, that hey, I want to get into it, I want to do it, and I will try my best to do it. Right? When they see this attitude coming, they welcome you with open arms. They teach you. They even spoon feed you at times.
Okay.
And they mentor you, they guide you, but they want that attitude from you. If you are willing to learn, eventually you will learn. So the basic thing to understand here is whatever skills or technical competency you have, that's the cherry on the cake. That's fine. But you also have to understand that you should be consistent enough with what you are learning. You have to maintain what you have achieved. You don't just have to perform and then, be like, okay, now it's done. It should be a continuous process of improvement with what you do. And over the years, you wouldn't believe that you had come from that place where you knew nothing. That's what I wanted to say, that, their skill set is, it is developed over time. With practice, it comes gradually. But if you don't have the willingness, if you don't have the energy to put in the efforts or the time as well, then nobody can help you. You are pretty much on your own there, and nobody is going to come and ask you that how are you feeling and have, it is not going to be like that. But if you really want, if they see your willingness, they would definitely come and help you, and they would see that spark in you, that hey, this person is really wanting to do good. And apart from that, you should work a bit on your communication skills, because you might be put into a team where you might have to communicate with people from different parts of the world, and it might be difficult for you, even though you have skills. But then if you are not able to communicate well, that won't really help. So you need to strike that balance between communication and technical competency, and coupled with your willingness to learn. And that pretty much is the recipe of what a successful professional might look like, according to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, you're still new to the field of technology, like you just started with your job.
Yeah.
So, like, what motivates you to continue impacting this the field of technology, and like how you're going to explore the field of technology?
Okay. So as you know, technology is growing every single day. And if we stop growing, then there's nothing, right?
Yeah.
With technology, you have to grow. And I feel like what motivates me to keep learning and keep exploring is my curiosity about things. I'm very curious person, and I want to know the science behind things, how this happens, what's behind it, and all of those things I would want to explore. I've seen myself doing that over so many years now, and I feel that this keeps me really it's kind of my passion, that I want to know things and how they work, and I would ask questions and all of that. And I also like talking to people a lot. So when I converse with people and ask them questions and listen to them, I really get that knowledge. So
Yeah.
I feel that it's about having that curiosity for things that motivates me a lot. I want to do everything at once. I feel like doing this and, putting my head into this and all of that. And so at the same time, I want to try numerous things. And then because I have the willingness, I'm also able to do it. If you don't have the willingness, you will see, oh, I'm low on energy. I need to have a good night's sleep. But then I would you will find me reading some book on something on Elon Musk, or maybe watching a sci-fi movie like Martian. You'd find me doing all these sorts of things. So it's basically my curiosity in different fields that keeps me motivated, especially in technology. And also my habit of reading that has pretty much helped me a lot to be technically relevant as well. I am a very research oriented person. I would go and I go to Google Scholar. I'll randomly search for different technologies and what's the situation right now in different technologies. What's the research, current research, what's the groundbreaking research and all of that. So I think that when you talk about research, there is no end to research. Right? When you look at when you write one research paper, you have to cite few others, and then somebody takes your research paper once it is published and then write their own and cite your research paper. So I think it's a never-ending process. According to me, technology is not going to end anytime soon. That's what that's the world that we live in. I can experience that. And so it's the right time for us to actually get into technology, because you name a field and the technology is there, and it's not just relevant to us. It's not just like, AI is just in IT. It's used only in IT. It's not there. It's right now it's used in photography. It's used in agriculture. It might be used in music. Everywhere. AI is being used, and the more avenues, the more fields that technology gets into, you will have more scope to learn it, and more people will learn it.
I think I got every question covered. You covered everything, like from how you got into IEEE, how it changed you, what experience you gained from it, and what your job quality assurance, and even the advice that you gave to the college students, how they should look towards how they should join the clubs, and how should they look forward to after they join the clubs, and what all they should be expecting. Thank you, Nupur, for being here.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you. I hope everybody likes it. And if they have anything, any feedback or any opinions, I'm always up for a discussion. So, yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond Conversation. If you found this episode insightful, please like and share. And please subscribe to Beyond Conversation for more engaging discussion with IT professionals. Thank you for listening. Until next time.